Okay, welcome back. I know it's been a while, but I'm back at you with another video. In today's episode, I'm going to be taking a look at 43 Game Boy games. Now I got this lot of games off of eBay. Not the most desirable bunch of games, but they are supposedly broken or not working. So let's see if I can fix some of these. Okay, without wasting too much time, I'm going to get right into it. And in no particular order, I'm going to start off with the original Game Boy games first and then go on to the Game Boy Colors. But other than that, there's no particular order. So the first game up here, the game looks okay. I don't see any corrosion. I don't see anything wrong physically with the game. So what I'm gonna do, like I always do with these Game Boy games, is just reflow the ROM chips or the RAM chips, and hopefully that solves the issue. So as of shooting this video, it took me 4 hours. I had 4 hours worth of raw footage. Obviously, I can't upload something that's 4 hours long. It's not really interesting. Even the 35-minute runtime of this video is in my opinion, quite long. And as a spoilers, this video is going to get very repetitive. I apologize. But on a side note, I probably won't be doing any more Game Boy games. Just by the time you're finished with this video, you'll understand why. I'm going to be very selective going forward with Game Boy games. So since I'm doing this in 4x, the majority of this video is going to be in 4x speed just to save some time, as much as I can at least. And obviously I'm not going to show too much of the gameplay footage. If I do get the games to run, I'm just going to show a few seconds maybe, and that's it. Here I'm testing the voltage of the battery. Obviously I went through it really quick. You guys, if you're subscribed to my channel, you should understand or already know how to test for voltage on a battery. In this case, that battery was okay, so I'm going to leave it in circuit. Now I'm on the second game. Same thing. The game looks okay. There's no corrosion or rust, so just reflow the ROM chip. Hopefully I can get it to run. So here you can see that I do follow it up with some 99% alcohol and a toothbrush, and after I scrub the board for a few seconds, I follow it up with my hot air rework station. Now I'm not heating up the PCB to desolder anything or enough to damage anything. I'm just drying off alcohol. So here my Game Boy screen was pretty dirty, so I just wiped it down. Still didn't look that great, but it was better than how it was. So this game is working. On to the next one. What really surprised me is these games seem to be in nice condition. There's no rust, there's no corrosion, and all they seem to need is to be reflowed. And they fire up right off the first try every single time. So that's really surprising to me. Usually you do have to follow it up with some cleaning. Now, even if these games aren't too desirable, this video should still help you understand that these games do fail in a similar way. Even if they are expensive games, cheap games, this is a common fault among Game Boy games. So this should still help you fix your more expensive, more desirable games. So it seems we have one that actually worked. So this one I don't need to do anything to. I play a few seconds of it, make sure it does work, and it seems to be fine. So next one. Um, I did, and this one as well. So we had 2 games so far that worked. So hopefully some more of these games will work and I don't have to waste time reflowing any of the chips. But I noticed that it took two tries to get that game to work. So it might just be dirty, and I'm not gonna clean it right now. I'll clean it off camera. So once again, I'm going to take the time to apologize. I understand this video is 7 minutes in already and it's getting very repetitive. I do apologize. This is the way eBaying goes. Sometimes you'll order something thinking it's going to be an interesting video, and you'll get it home and everything works just fine, or all it needs is to have the pins cleaned and everything works fine. So in this case, these games are broken, but it's the same fault. It's the same fault so far. This is the way it is sometimes. So since this game has a battery, I also test it, and this battery's okay, so I'm gonna leave it just how it is. Okay, it seems like this game, it has another fault, or I went too quickly and I didn't reflow it right. So this is what happens sometimes, you miss something. So I'm gonna try to reflow it again, and hopefully that solves the problem, or we might have a different fault. So it seems like this game is working just fine. I must have went too fast with the reflowing. So that's one thing to note. Just try to take your time when you reflow these chips. Now I noticed this cartridge was having trouble inserting into the slot, so as if it was a little bit wider than normal. So and here the screw is not coming out, so I suspect that the post is broken, and of course, yeah, the post is broken. So I gotta remove this and see what I can do. So if anybody's still awake, I'm going to be using Tamiya glue to try to get this post to fuse back into its spot. Hopefully this works. So I'm going to set this aside to let it dry or let it harden, and then at the end of this video I'm going to take a look at it. Now, if you haven't noticed already, most of these games, they're duplicates, they're doubles and triples. So, yeah, they're not only are they not desirable, but they're doubles as well. Look at this beauty. It looks like somebody stomped it into the dirt like a cigarette butt. So this game, upon closer inspection, looked like there was a smudge on one of the pins, so I used some brass soda to polish it up, and then I followed up with some 99% alcohol. Just to change it up a bit, it just seems so monotonous and tedious reflowing all these chips. I figured I'd change it up a bit and maybe it would help, but in this case, no, all these games need is a decent reflow. So as I'm sitting here watching this footage, recording this commentary, I'm realizing that the alcohol and flux used on these cartridges are worth more than the actual cartridges. So you're welcome. So the game did fire up, but it's having trouble reading. So I suspect that this smudge is still causing the problem. So I'm going to follow it up with more Brasso this time, get it really thorough, and see if I can polish it up even further. So next up, we got the Game Boy Color games. So we fixed every single original Game Boy game, and now I suspect that we're gonna fix every single Game Boy Color game. What was fortunate for me was that most of these games didn't have corrosion on them, they didn't have rust on them so far, and they seemed like they were well kept. They just happened to have this common fault that usually every Game Boy game succumbs to eventually. So you really can't fault somebody for not taking proper care of the Game Boy game because the chip needs to be reflowed, because that happens generally randomly, and it happens even if you do take great care of your games. So you can't really fault the previous owners. So this chip is a bit different. It's actually flatter, meaning that it's shorter, closer to the board, and the chip legs are much tighter pitch, so they're closer together, they're smaller, they're more grouped, so you can easily bridge them together when you try to reflow them. So just keep that in mind, that not all the chips are the same. Some are easier than others to reflow. Here you can see that there are bridges on the last couple of pins there, and obviously you add some flux and the bridging should go away. So here we go, last game, and this works too. So that's 43 for 43. Practically all they needed were reflows. 2 of them were working, or 3 of them were working, I don't remember. And yeah, good news is I won't be posting any more videos like this on my channel ever again. If I get Game Boy games and all they need is to be reflowed, I will skip over making a video on that. I'll post something that if it's more elaborate or different, I will post it. And like I said before, I was going to take a look at this game. This is the one I glued the post. Seems to have solidified well, and I'm going to take it easy on screwing this screw in and see if it works. Yeah, we tested it earlier, it does work. So here's a final shot of all the games. They're all working and good as new. Thanks for watching.